Hi, guys. Welcome to the webinar, Finding Joy and Meaning in Your Empty Nest. You guys can mute yourselves if you're not already muted. We're going to do this without video and audio. And I'm going to be speaking today, and you guys are going to use your chat boxes in order to, interact with me. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. And okay, desktop. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Let's play this. Okay, I have a nice presentation that I made. Here we go. Except now I cannot admit people and use the cursor, which is weird. All right, I'm gonna have to stop playing it. Sorry, guys. Okay. I might just have to keep this on like this. Okay. Finding joy and meaning as an empty nester and beyond. My name is Jody Barretts. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a psychotherapist, mindset, and relationship coach, and I'm very excited to share this with you. I am very into acceptance and commitment therapy. I'm going to be going to a training on that in the near future, and I've been reading up on it and studying it for a while. So I wanted to share some of the new things that I've learned, and I'm going to be continuing a lot of that stuff going forward in the group. Okay, so the reason I created this webinar was because so many people, friends, and clients are going through this stage of life, maybe some of them feeling lost, feeling sad that their kids are leaving or left, and really just finding themselves in this stage of life. So I am an empty nester as well. I have two boys that have left the nest. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I also have a unique perspective as an I guess getting older, because I live in a 55 and up community for part of the time in Florida. And it does give me a unique perspective because I can really see, what's ahead, what's going on. And even though I'm on the younger side, I realize how important time is. And when you can see sort of the horizon, you can really, you really start to question, what do I want my life to be about? What do I want to do with my time here? And want to really focus with intention on how you want to live your life. So that's sort of why I wanted to do this. I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted because people are still entering, and I'm glad that people are getting in. Okay, so even though this phase of life can be a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, maybe you're feeling some health issues that you didn't really have. Maybe you're experiencing older parents or losing your parents, letting your kids go, dealing with your partner, having more time with them, and wanting to maximize that relationship. There's a lot going on in this phase of life. So maybe you're starting to feel invisible. I don't know if you guys are starting to feel that way, but I was with a friend last weekend and we were talking about the attention that we used to get compared to the attention that we get now. And it's kind of, when you feel invisible, it definitely impacts your self-esteem. So that's something to think about as well. Okay, so the good news is that most people find meaning, authenticity, and fulfillment in their third act of life. So that is exciting, something to look forward to, and let's do that. Let's focus on that. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, I can't seem to click the thing if I can't get to the next slide somehow. Hold on, guys. Technology. Oh, I undid the share. Hold, please. Where did it go? Love this. Share. Okay. Why isn't it sharing? Maybe it's behind. Oh boy.
So sometimes you have to like go back, close it and go back in. So I don't know if you want to do that.
I don't
Sometimes that
understand. I
works.
must have clicked something.
No, Zoom is weird that way.
Oh, here it is. It's somehow behind everything. Okay. But why can't I? All right. Okay. All right. You guys can see this? Okay. So today you will discover, just Laura, tell me if you can see this.
Yes.
Okay. Today you will discover what it takes to find joy and meaning in this new stage of life, and how the principles from acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, will help you navigate this journey with mindfulness, acceptance, and purpose. And we're going to talk about the 7 shifts to make in order to do that. So I want you to put in the chat, think about one word that describes how you're feeling in this stage of life. Oops. Why?
Now it's all coming.
Okay. All right, Laura, I'm going to ask you to help me. Can you read what's in the chat? Because I can't see it because I'm on the presentation page, and for some reason I can't do both.
Yeah. Nothing yet.
Okay, come on, guys.
Overwhelmed.
Okay. Anybody else?
Alone.
Okay.
Worried but comfortable.
Fair.
Mhm.
Okay. That's
I'll
it?
say
What?
also another alone,
Oh, okay.
tired, anxious.
Okay. So we're going to address those things today, but basically, it's okay to feel how you're feeling, but hopefully by the end of this webinar today, you will be feeling a little bit better. And if not, that's okay too, because we got to learn to accept the way that we're feeling in order to move forward. And I'm going to be talking about that as well. But the good news is the empty nest isn't always an empty nest. So here are my boys. My older one is on the left, and I had just moved him into his apartment in the city after him coming home after college and living at home for 2 years. So we finally moved him into the city in May. And then I moved him into the city and went literally straight to LaGuardia Airport to pick up the one on the right. So as one was leaving the nest, I had one coming home after college. So I wrote down here, as bittersweet as it was when my own kids left, I realized the importance of embracing this change, not as an ending, but as a new beginning. So they're really never gone. So if that's your focus, I mean, we need to let go of them, and it is time to let go. And it is time to focus on ourselves when the kids leave. But they're always, always still, not always, always, but they're still around. And the important thing is balancing the relationship, letting them go and fail if they need to, while you're gently guiding them on this process. Okay, so let me just tell you a little bit about me for those of you who don't know, and maybe some of you who do know me maybe don't know all these things about me. So who am I to be telling you all this stuff? Well, these are my 2 boys who went to Greeley High School in Chappaqua. I went to Columbia University for my master's in social work. I went to Institute for Integrative Nutrition for my health coaching certificate. I did a lot of additional trainings at Omega Institute, which is up in Rhinebeck. It's a holistic learning center. I did a lot of mindfulness-based stress reduction and studied with very well-known gurus in the field, such as Byron Katie and Tara Brach. And actually, my youngest son is up there now on staff at Omega. So even though you might not think that what you tell your kids or what you share with them, doesn't have any impact on them, it does, because I never thought my son would be up at Omega doing that. Okay, so the Center for Health and Healing, I was a psychotherapist there for about 7 years in Mount Kisco. I've been a speaker, I've done talks. Most of you or some of you may be familiar with the lake meditation. And when I did my book, I was on radio shows and published. And that's just a little bit of why maybe you should listen to me, because I've done a lot of stuff. But now enough about me. I want to talk about you. So imagine your life not worrying or ruminating about what you think you should be doing or feeling like you're not doing enough. Imagine your life without worrying that life is passing you by, without regret, and authentically feeling good about yourself, your actions, and where you are at this point in your life. So let's talk about some critical questions, because it starts by creating an awareness and asking yourself some critical questions at this stage. What do you stand for? What matters to you most? And what do you want to do with your brief time on this planet? What do you want your life to be about? How do you want to show up in your relationships? If we don't ask the questions, we're not going to have the answers. But what is the real problem? I love this little meme, 20 things women should stop wearing after 40, the weight of other people's expectations and judgments. So what are the obstacles? What really stops us from doing what we need to do? Some of you might know where you want your life to go, but then there's some obstacles. Well, one of them is comparing yourself to others, which is very easy to do in this age of social media. You might feel less than because you see all these other people doing all these wonderful things that you wish you could be doing. And you know what that does? It keeps you stuck. People pleasing is another thing that we've maybe done our whole lives. Other people have expectations of us, and we like to meet them because we want other people to be happy. But maybe at this point in our life, it's time for you to be happy, right? So ending the people pleasing will be very helpful as well. And then one of my favorites, controlling what other people are doing. It is so much easier to tell other people what they should be doing instead of doing it yourself. I think I mentioned in my email that I had a client who was so busy helping other people. She was single and she found herself being attracted to people that needed help. She's always saving other people and helping them and telling them what to do. Meanwhile, she was overweight, she wasn't exercising, and she wasn't doing the things to take care of herself. And once she sort of realized that and redid some of her priorities, she lost the weight, felt good about herself, and, was starting to focus on her. So comparing yourself to others, people pleasing, and controlling what other people are doing. Why don't you put in the chat if you are guilty of any of these things? Which one are you guilty of? And Laura, if you could read it to me, that would be great if anybody does put something in the chat. Anybody guilty of these things?
Yeah, people pleasing. I was typing that as well. So 2 people pleasers.
2 people pleasers. So is that the most common thing? I would think like controlling also. We're such control freaks. I mean, I know I am, and I'm sure other people are very good at telling other people what to do, especially our partners. I try to be good at that, but it backfires. So
We also have a caring for others, but not myself.
Yeah, definitely, definitely relatable. Yes, thank you.
I think there's
Oh,
also there's also the like your own expectations about what you thought your life would be like.
yes. And the disappointment of that,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure, right? So we're going to talk about how to deal with all of that. The disappointment, the regret, but what we don't want is to have regret going forward. So if that is the case, we have to sort of figure out how to fix that. Okay. So what is the secret? What is um, the one thing maybe what is the one skill that you need in order to move forward in the face of all life's challenges? Maybe you can put in the chat, what is the one thing that you think that you need in order to face life and move forward? Does anybody have a guess?
We have discipline,
Discipline? Anything else?
slow down and breathe.
Okay. Anything else? Any other guesses? What is the one
Acceptance,
skill?
acceptance and hope, self-love.
Those are all great answers. Those are all ingredients that you need. But the one thing that I am thinking of is resilience in the face of unexpected surprises. So I put this slide in because number one, I think it's hilarious. And number two, it was really authentic. So this is a picture of me in New York City. You might see Mickey Mouse in the background of the first picture, and then he literally photobombed me and scared the hell out of me in the second picture. Complete authentic picture, not planned at all. And I'm using this to kind of show that, one day you could feel like everything's going well, you're on top of the world, and then challenges and obstacles and loss come in the face of unexpected surprises, right? They just come at you and shake up your whole world. So I think that resilience is a really, really important skill that you need because you have to be able to deal with unexpected challenges. So if you want to move forward and accomplish your goals, you have to be ready to be uncomfortable. You have to be ready to face obstacles. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond to it. And at this stage of life, it is important to be able to deal with all the new challenges that come your way. Maybe your kids aren't meeting all of your expectations, doing things on your timeline. Maybe you're losing your parents. Maybe you're being laid off and have to find another job or career. Lot of disappointments in life. Like I said, health issues can unexpectedly creep up on you. But if you have resilience and coping skills, you are able to deal with whatever comes your way. So we're going to talk about that. And a healthy mindset and a healthy perspective are essential. You may have to train your brain to think in a new way if you want to be happy. So now we know what the important coping skills are. Let's talk about these 7 essential shifts to bring joy and meaning to your life. I think this was, oh, look at that. I made it move. Okay, you guys ready? Okay. 7 steps for a valued, meaning life. Number 1, acceptance. Somebody mentioned that. Very good. Acceptance. We have to be able to open up and make room for painful feelings, sensations, urges, and emotions without judgment. We have to drop the struggle and embrace the emotions that come with this transition. It is normal to feel sadness, loss, or anxiety. So I was actually just talking to my son about a little breakup he's going through. And it's like if you never take risks, You don't get disappointed, but you never get to take the risks. So you have to be able to be willing and able to have those painful feelings and know that life is up and down and up and down, and it's okay to have struggles and challenges. That's all part of life. When you think that life is going to go perfectly and that nothing is going to come up as a challenge, then that's when you get sort of disappointed, right? So we have to embrace the emotions that come with this transition, and it's okay to feel what you're feeling. So for example, imagine you're stuck in quicksand and your natural instinct is what? To struggle, to try to get out of it, right? But the more you struggle, the more you sink. So it's not liking everything, but accepting it. I like to use the analogy also of a book. And if you're one of my clients or you're in my group, you might have heard me say this before, but you have to kind of think of your life as a book, right? It's already written. Everything that's happened is already happened. So we have to accept it. But your job is to how am I going to tell that story in my mind? Am I going to tell it with regret, or am I going to tell it with, if it wasn't perfect in the way that you wanted it to go, maybe there's a silver lining, maybe there's a lesson there, maybe it was redirecting you. So it's definitely important to your mindset and the way that you view things. And what you can do is write the story from now on. So we can't control everything. So anything that's out of your control is already written in the book, and you are the protagonist in your own story and can only control the things that you can control. So you have to decide how you're going to show up to whatever's already written in the book. Okay, so for example, if you're on chapter 60, zoom out a little bit. It's only chapter 60. It doesn't mean that your whole life is doomed. It's just one chapter of the book. I think that's a helpful analogy to view it. Okay, so number 2, watch your thinking. Instead of getting tangled up in all your thoughts, you want to step back and separate or detach from your thoughts and images and memories. They're just thoughts. You don't have to believe them. Let them go. So that's what meditation and mindfulness is all about, right? It's practicing watching your thoughts instead of going down that negative spiral. It literally is just watching and being like, okay, having that thought again, or I'm waking up anxious again. Look at that. It's being the observer. And we're going to talk a little bit more about being the observer, but switch yourself into that observer way of thinking. Okay. So, acceptance and watching your thinking. I'm going to give you another, I have a clipboard right here. I'm going to give you another example or a metaphor, a way of thinking about watching your thinking. Okay, so let's say I have this clipboard here. This is going to be your thoughts. Okay, so when you put the clipboard in front of your face and you're attached to your thoughts, you really can't see anything around your thoughts. The thoughts are overcoming you and taking over. Okay, so if you're too attached to your thoughts, this is what happens. But then sometimes you want to get rid of your thoughts. So what happens when you want to get rid of your thoughts? You're pushing the clipboard away and you're expending so much energy trying to get rid of the thoughts that you also kind of can't think about anything else because you're trying so hard to get rid of the thoughts. So what are you supposed to do with these thoughts? You take your thoughts and you put them on your lap. So I'm putting the clipboard on my lap, and what it does is the thoughts are still there. You can't make the thoughts go away. They're going to be there, but you can put them down. You don't have to pay attention to them. You can have them on in the back of your head like chatter, like static on a radio. But you don't have to buy into them. You can just kind of notice them. Okay? Okay. Can you still see the screen? Because I went to chat and now I'm not sure. Oh, my
No,
screen is being paused. Okay, so I can't do that. I thought I could do it. Oops, now I stopped the share. I'm telling you. Okay, obviously this is my first webinar in a while, so thank you for putting up with me. Okay, let's see where we are. If it's gonna go on the same thing. I don't know how to get to it again. Okay, so everybody get the clipboard analogy. Put in the chat if you can resonate with this clipboard analogy. If you understand what I'm saying. Is anybody writing anything? Am I speaking to myself?
no, no. Absolute. Yes.
Yes? Okay,
Yes.
good. Why can't it work? Share. You are screen sharing. Okay.
We can see your desktop. Okay,
Okay.
now we see it. It's back.
I know, but now it's like all weird, right?
No, looks the same.
It does?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, it's like I can't see it. Okay. Okay. So we got the clipboard metaphor. I'm glad you guys understood that. Because it's also like, I'll give you another metaphor. It's also like you are on the phone with somebody that maybe you don't, you can't really, that just blabs on and on and on to you, and you like take the phone away from your ear and just kind of let it talk. You don't have to participate. You don't have to say anything. You're just kind of letting it air out. Okay. So, watching your thinking, putting your clipboard on your lap, just letting your thoughts go without speaking to it. And if you are familiar with mindfulness and meditation, you will definitely understand that. Okay, so staying present, being here now, not in the past or the future, which is another mindfulness thing, which is why I love the whole mindfulness, why I love this type of therapy, because it incorporates all the mindfulness, the tenets of mindfulness. So staying present, being here now, not in the past or the future. If you are depressed, you tend to be living in the past. If you're anxious, you tend to be living in the future. And if you are at peace, you are living in the present. So not having your mind ruminate about regret and not being so anxious about the future, just dealing with today. I need to get through today. What am I going to do today? Because today is the only time that you have. It's the only time. You don't have the rest of the time. You just have today. That's the only time behavior happens. Okay, so redefining your identity. Let's go over number 4, the observing self. You are more than just your thoughts and feelings. Seeing yourself beyond the role of a parent and exploring other things, exploring other hobbies and, other things that you're into besides being a parent is obvious. But what is the observing self? I alluded to it a little bit before. I said that when you observe your thoughts, you become this observing self. But let me take it one step forward, one step further. So think about yourself when you were 21. Okay, so you're not that 21-year-old now. You have different thoughts, you have different feelings, you have different experiences. You are a different person than you were at 21, right? Totally different. But there is a part of you that is still that person, right? Because you experienced it all. So that is your observing self, the self that observes everything that's happening, that has been with you your whole life, the watcher or consciousness, if you will. So I'll give you a metaphor. If you see this chessboard, okay, so the white pieces are the positive thoughts, the good things that have happened in your life, all the good stuff. And the black pieces are the negative ones. And the pieces are constantly battling each other. And sometimes the black wins, and sometimes the white wins, and sometimes it's checkmate. But you're constantly all your life, good, bad, happy, sad, joy, meaning, all these different things, right? So, who are you in all of this? Does anybody know who you are in this metaphor? You can put that in the chat. Oh, I could even see the chat now somehow. Kind of. Does anybody know who you are in the metaphor? Laura, are we getting any responses? Because I can't really see it now.
No.
Nobody? No guesses? Who are you in this metaphor? Okay. You, my friends, are the chessboard. You're the chessboard. So you are just the container that holds all the pieces, that holds the negativity, that holds the thoughts, that holds all of it. You are the container. So there's going to be good things, good thoughts, bad thoughts. You are still you. You are the container, no matter what is happening in your life. And we want to get to that observing self. We want to get to that observer piece. When you're upset, when you're negative, when you're going into a spiral, remember, it's just the stuff of your life. It's not who you are. So we don't want to over-identify with any of the roles that we are having in our lives. We don't want to over-identify with our illnesses, with being a parent, with being whatever job we have. We are so much more than that. We are all of those things. Okay? So that is the observing self. Okay. So I guess I'm going to try to keep continuing, but my thing won't work. Okay, hold on. I'm going to try to press escape and see if I can do it. I am so sorry. There's no way that I could have like anticipated all these problems. Okay, please work. I don't know why my presentation is not moving forward. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, values exploration. Okay, so this is the next one. We are going to figure out what matters most to you now. Personal growth, relationships, health, creativity. What are your values? What do you want to stand for? I asked that question before. Reflect on how your values might have shifted now that your children are grown. What do you value? I'm not going to make you put it in the chat, but basically we want to, if we don't, I like this quote actually, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. So what does that really mean? It means that if you don't know what you stand for and what direction you want to go in, you're just going to fall for like the next attractive thing that comes up for you. You're just going to like, oh, this came up, I'm going to do this, or this is here, you don't really have your direction. You're just going to fall for the next thing that comes up. So that's why it's really important to live this part of your life with intention. Okay. And then committed action. This is, one of the last steps. You want to be able to take action aligned with your values, create a plan to pursue new or neglected interests, embrace the freedom to explore new life paths, I can't even read the second one because my bar is in there, but I'm sure you guys hopefully can see that. And reconnect with your partner, foster new connections, new hobbies, giving back, all of those things, right? So committed action is really about making small, very small changes in the direction you want to move toward. Okay. So it literally can be the smallest thing that you do to help you move forward because you might not think it's a big thing, but it is as long as you're moving in that direction and you're not stuck. So no excuses. There will be drawbacks or things that you have to sacrifice in order to move into the direction that you want to, but you have to accept that. And it's okay. And it will feel uncomfortable and new. But as long as you are moving forward and taking one step at a time, then that will start you on your path. So for example, I had so many different ideas of what I want to do with my groups and what I want to do with the webinars and how I want to create all these different things in my business. And I was like, oh my God, it's so overwhelming. I'm stuck. I am just stuck. And then I was like, let me make one small step into the direction I want to move in. So since I'm in this empty nest stage and I'm trying to live my life with meaning and purpose, and it seems to resonate, like I said, with a lot of my clients and friends, I'm going to make the webinar. That is the one small step that I am going to do. I am not going to try to create an entire universe of things nationally, international. I mean, not that I would do that, but do you know what I'm saying? You just have to take that one small step. And then the last thing I kind of added, it's not really from acceptance and commitment therapy, but I think it's really important. The same behavior leads to the same results. So if you have to recognize when something isn't working and take action to change it. Respect yourself enough by knowing that you are worth it and deserve to have the life you want. It's hard to prioritize you when you've been prioritizing other people your whole life, but I guarantee you are worth it and it will pay off. So the most decisive factor on who gets the life that they want and who stays stuck is the ones who put intention and motivation and do something. And that is what I'm hoping my group will do. Okay, so let's recap. Embrace this part of your life with acceptance and mindfulness and opportunity. Redefine your values and interests and take committed action to build a fulfilling life. Okay, so what is the mission? This is my mission, and this is my mission for you. To create a full, rich, and meaningful life while accepting the pain that inevitably goes with it. You can't have what you want, your cake and eat it too. You have to be able to be willing to go out of your comfort zone, maybe disappoint people, not meet others' expectations, all those things that we talked about as obstacles. You're going to maybe have to accept that there's uncomfortable feelings and pain that goes with it. Okay. Accept what is out of your personal control and commit to taking action that enriches your life. Okay? So again, kind of like the book, right? You can't control what you can't control. You can only control what you can. So you have to commit to doing what you can control. We are only here for a finite period of time, and you don't know how long. So guess what? The time is now. Since you don't know how long, and you know that the only time behavior happens is now is the time. So you guys excited to kind of move forward with your life? Did I motivate anybody? Is anybody pumped up to go through this next phase of life, learning the skills of resilience, acceptance, how to manage your thinking, how to clarify your values, how to stay present, how to, what else? Accept, diffuse, values, staying present. Are you guys excited? You can put in the chat how you're feeling at this moment, if this is resonating with you. Laura, is anyone putting anything in the chat? I can't read it. Nothing.
Somewhat optimistic, and I wrote moments of optimism.
Okay, you have moments of optimism. Okay, so if I could just inject a tiny little bit of optimism, that is great. But at least you know now what some of the tools are to help you get in touch with what really matters in the big picture. I think that's also a really important point. Like, what matters, right? So it's like nothing matters really, but everything matters, right? It's like we think everything matters so much, but in the end, nothing really matters that much. All these little things that we get so stressed and concerned about, in like 3 centuries, no one's even going to have heard of you. You know what I mean? So it's like we take things so, oh my God, and seriously, but you know what? I hate to say it, we are, and I don't mean to sound this to be morbid, but we are all going to die, you know? So we have to use this time as a gift. And if we don't want to spend this gift feeling lonely and miserable and sad and lost, we want to spend this time creating a rich, full, and meaningful life, even though it's going to have some pain, even though our lives aren't going to go as smoothly as we want. If we can accept that, it makes so much sense, right? What are your deepest desires? Who do you want to be? And what do you want to do with this time? Okay, so let's do this. So many of you are in my group already, but if you are not, I'm just going to go over a few things about my women's group, which I'm going to be discussing all these principles in detail. Okay, so I have this women's group. It meets the first and third Wednesday of the month from 4 to 5:15, unless I change it, unless a lot of people can't meet or it's a conflict with vacation. It's $199 a month. I can't even read that. What does that one say? Hold on a second. You must commit to try and be there live. But if you're not, it will be recorded if you miss it and sent to your inbox. It is a special tribe of women who support and inspire confidentially. And we have discussions around empty nest, family relationships, grief, loss of old self, and work toward joy and meaning in your life. You know what? It's like sometimes you don't want to dump stuff on your friends and you don't want your friends to know everything about yourself. So this is a confidential group of women. Nobody says anything outside of the group. And we are going to use these philosophies from acceptance and commitment therapy, like what I said in the mission, in order to do that. So we're going to learn the resiliency skills, perspectives, changing your thinking, acceptance, because if you're not happy, honestly, you deserve to be. But, oh, whoops. Let's see. Hold on. Okay, so I have some little testimonials here that you can just read. I'm not going to read them out, but I don't know why the one is missing on the side. These are just kind of texts that people have sent me about the groups. So I save them because it means a lot to me and I appreciate them. So you can just take a look at some of these. Take a minute to read them. I'm not going to, like I said, go through it, but okay, it's all very nice stuff. So, okay, wait. We need to make sure you are ready. So if you are thinking about joining the group, you need to be ready. And these are the things that you need to be able to agree to before you're ready. So now that you know that you are not your thoughts and feelings, right? You're the chessboard. Are you willing to accept them fully and without defense, as it is, and not what your language says it is? I didn't really go over about languaging, but basically our language is just made up words that we say to clarify what's happening in our lives. And it's just our opinion. It doesn't mean that it's real or it's fact. So we don't have to take our thoughts so literally because it's just languaging. But more about that later. Are you willing to do what takes you in the direction of what is vital and meaningful? So maybe you could put in the chat if you are willing to do these things, if you are willing and ready to do these things. And if you're not, that's okay too. You don't have to write no. But if you are ready, willing, and able to do these things, just put yes in the chat. Laura, is anybody writing yes?
Not yet.
Okay. All right, I'm not committing you to anything by saying yes. I'm just asking if now that you know what it takes to be ready, are you ready to do that? And if you're not, like I said, that's totally okay too. Okay, so who this is not for? You are in crisis mode right now and experiencing severe depression or trauma. That's not to say you couldn't benefit from this information, but you would probably also want to have some individual sessions to deal with whatever acute situation you are going through. And the second thing, it's not for you if you don't have the time or resources to focus on yourself and to do the work that is necessary to help you move forward. And that's okay too. Everybody, you know, has their own timeline of what they're willing to do. Okay. But all of those things together that I was describing help you become more psychologically flexible so you can deal with whatever comes your way, right? Okay. So, okay, now I'm like pressing the thing and it's not working. Okay. Okay, so joy and purpose is not the result of how you spend your time on the outside, but how you feel about your life on the inside. So I'm going to read that again. Joy, meaning, and purpose is not necessarily what you do every day with your time, which is also important, but it's how you feel on the inside. So now we're going to get to like the fun trivia part. Put in the chat if you know what song that next passage is in the chorus. That is the chorus of a song. If you're tired of the same old story, turn some pages. I will be here when you are ready to roll with the changes. Yeah, woo. Anybody know what that is?
Yes.
Yes. Did anybody put the answer in the chat?
I didn't want to, in case others were.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll give you guys another second to figure it out. If not, Laura, you can reveal the answer.
REO Speedwagon.
Yeah, what's the name of the song?
Roll with the changes?
Yes. Okay. That's awesome. Okay. I love the song. It resonates with me. So yeah. So let's turn some pages. Okay. Again, I'm just putting the slide again about everything that we have. And if you are not in the group and want to sign up, you can stay on after this webinar and talk to me. Or if you are so excited to start this journey with us, with a great group, many of whom are already on this call, that is the link to sign up. bit.ly/ or backslash maximizing mid-life. I actually did a bit.ly link to simplify it. Doesn't look so simple, but It's bit.ly maximizing midlife. And that's the name. I rebranded the group. It's maximizing midlife and beyond. I'm calling midlife 50s and 60s and beyond because I don't know the name for, I didn't want to use empty nest if some people don't have children or whatever. It doesn't mean you're excluded. It's just how do you maximize this time in your life as you get older is really what the focus of the group is. It's not for women with young kids who are dealing with parenting issues. Yes, older kid parenting issues, not young kid parenting issues. So it's just going to be for women of a certain age with maturity. And, you know, we're going to go through that. Okay. So I'm going to thank you all for being here and end the recording. And hopefully the women that are in my group, I pumped you up to be excited about what we're going to do going forward. And I will say the group is tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So if you are in my group, show up tomorrow at 4. We'll get started. If you're not in the group, sign up today so that you can get started with us tomorrow. And if you have any questions, you can ask me them. Okay. Oh, Jennifer said, thank you. Great talk. Thanks, Jody. Oh, now I can see the chat. Okay.
Thanks, Jody.
You are welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks again, guys, for being here. I hope you got a few things out of today. And if you want to talk to me, I'm going to stay on.